Okay, this is John from Flint Talk Radio, and today we're a little bit out of the studio. We're down at the Lunch Studio in Flint, Michigan, on Saginaw Street in Flint, Michigan, and we're talking to the owner, proprietor, or as you put it on Facebook, as Big Kahuna, the Big Kahuna of the Lunch Studio.
Yep,
How you doing,
that's me.
Tracy? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we'll give you your full name, so everybody knows you though. But
It's Tracy Welpley.
Yeah.
Gilmore was my maiden name, and really that's what I'm supposed to be right now again too. So Gilmore, I'll go by Gilmore, Tracy Gilmore.
Anyway, so you've been the owner of the Lunch Studio since what, 2000?
2001. We opened December 2001.
Now that's back then there was very little going on downtown. I mean, I think Churchill's was closed up, wasn't it?
No, they were here.
Yeah.
Churchill's was open, and the Torch, and I'm trying to think where else. I don't want to forget anybody because, most of the people that were here then are still here.
Right.
And it was mostly like bar food, though. And there was Halo Burger, of course.
Yeah.
And a little sandwich shop that was at the end of the alley that was called Piccadilly Cafe.
Mm-hmm. And so it's like but you've weathered a lot of stuff. I mean, it was probably scraped to get by several times. But now, what I'm down here to talk to you about it today is you have an unusual way. You want to purchase the building you're housed in, and you're going about it more of a unique way. And a few years ago, wouldn't have been possible. You're using the social media to networking and stuff like that to raise funds to make a down payment at least, right?
Yes. And it's nothing that I would have ever thought of doing myself. Crystal Pepperdine, she's a good friend, and she also has the Flint Handmade store that's in here. Mm-hmm. She came up with the idea of doing this public appeal, for funds, because I really am not the type to ask people to help me in that way. I want to be able to do it myself. But she suggested it, and I really don't want to take a chance of having somebody else get the building, which, they have every right to do. But because I just don't, it's very, I'd be real insecure about it. I don't know if they'd want to keep me down here. Would they want to put in a new restaurant, their own restaurant? I don't know. Those things can happen. So I knew I wanted to get the building, but I have to get things, in place in order to make an offer, So my next step is going to be, if I'm able to get a loan, which I'm hoping I will, I think I should be able to, is to get the building appraised, and then I would have to have a down payment, which I really don't have. So.
And that's the purpose of doing this fundraising through the internet.
Yeah.
No, well, okay, I'm not being shameless because it's not me, but personally, but I am behind you. You know that, and I'm all for this effort. Where would people go if they want to donate to the cause?
On Facebook. We have a link on the Lunch Studio Facebook. There's some on my Facebook. It's called Indiegogo, and it's all kinds of like business startups and different funding things that people can donate to. Mm-hmm. So, and since I found out about this thing, I can say I'm gonna go on there and make donations to these startups and different kinds of business ideas, because there's a lot of really cool stuff on there, and every little bit counts.
Right.
And which I'm realizing now. And this on ours, you can go on there, and Crystal has come up with all these perks, like you can get a plaque on a brick, or you can get a table, or you can get a sandwich named after you, and so there is like a little something that you get. I mean, there's T-shirts and aprons and all kinds of stuff.
That's like a good incentive, and I remember reading a book. I was reading part of it, and it was about a guy who from another country, I think it was Pakistan or India, that advocates microloans for small people, business startups, small businesses and stuff like that. And this seems to be very successful in other parts of the world, and just can do it on a larger scale. And what I like about this, the whole idea is that I come here quite a bit myself, but also it's you're not being forced to give something, or it's not your banking institution that's giving the money out that you might have some problems with. It's something you could do with a clear conscience. And I think this is really, I think it's almost the volitional part of it I liked. It's on your own volition, it's on your own free will.
Right.
And so that's the reason why I'm behind it. And besides, basically, I just like your food. You have healthy alternatives to the hamburgers and hot dogs and greasy spoon stuff. It's like you have everything's fresh made. Mm-hmm. And you try to keep it down you try to keep costs at a good price, but you also go out and seek out good, healthy, ingredients. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, the hallmark of your business. It's a healthy alternative to all the other stuff that's around.
And that's really why I did it, because you know, and I've said this many times, but it came from me wanting to go to lunch and a busy day, and I want to go have something that is not going to, you know, be full of fat or whatever. I mean, I do like to eat, you know, fried foods and stuff, but I just don't do it on my daily. It's not my everyday type of thing. It's more of a treat, you know. I go out at night on the weekend and maybe go have some fries and a burger, but I could never find anything that I felt was just like a nice wholesome lunch, and that was the whole idea behind this. Something you might make at home, you know,
Right.
but still be good, and you can still treat yourself, you know, on the weekends.
Well, another thing is too, if you look at the cost of trying to go around and get all these ingredients together, like you know, especially the vegetables, hard for people. People, especially in the city, there's like they consider certain urban settings to be almost like deserts as far as for food supply. You take care of that. You get the good ingredients. And you do now. Are you really concerned about the organic stuff as much? You know, the big
I do as
ranges,
much as
or-
I can,
Yeah.
you know, that way, and I'm getting more fearful of just buying like big corporately grown anything nowadays because of all this, the genetically modified seeds that they're talking about. The stuff, these stories that I've heard that I just can't believe can be true, but you know, I mean, I guess they are. I really have to research a little more, but I do have to say that I do feel a lot better when I buy as close to home as I can. And I just started buying from the Flint River Farm. She brought me some really beautiful spring mix yesterday, and we had a special today with some basil that she brought me. So, you know, that I can feel 100% good about, you know, selling and eating myself.
So that's good. It also keeps. I mean, you know, that's a big thing that a lot of experts. I mean, on the History Channel, they had a panel of experts talking about, you know, it's just a matter of time before something catastrophic happens to the food supply, and they're advocating. They're not conspiracy theorists. They're not survivalists. They're just saying the more locally produced food, the better for the community. And another thing is too, honey is more healthy if it's produced locally because your body's already got the stuff built up, so it's not going to be such a. It doesn't cause like you to have like anaphylactic shock or go through some kind of allergic, you know, problem situation with it. So I mean, all this stuff is good, and there is something to say that like people think they're assured when they go buy products at a grocery store, like, you know, vegetables. Well, I'm buying vegetables, yeah, but they've been there 2 to 3 weeks, or in transit 2 to 3 weeks before they even get on the shelves.
Yep, and that is frustrating. And also, I mean, when you buy locally, you know, the circle of money stays here too. I mean, you're supporting closer to you, which can come back. You know, I mean, the people that I'm buying stuff from come back and buy sandwiches for me. You know, people across the country are not going to come and buy lunch from me. You know.
Right. So it's like it's keep it local. Now again, I'm gonna ask you again because again, it's not. I'm not being shameless about it. Again, where it can go for and your setting, also the hours, and everything else of the store.
My hours?
Yes.
I'm open for lunch Monday through Friday, pretty much like 8-ish to 4-ish. That's another thing about being my own boss that I like. I can say ish.
Ish, yeah.
Around the
And you can
time,
set your hours.
Yeah, and anytime I see somebody at the door, if the door's locked, you know, I let them in. I make them a sandwich or whatever. I mean, sometimes I'll come in the back and start cooking, and I look up and somebody's at the door, and I just let them in. But it's called Indiegogo, and let me see if I can see what the website is. But I mean, if you just go and do a search for Indiegogo, or if you go to the lunch studio, if you just search for the lunch studio, you're going to find a link to this.
Okay. It's like indigo, like the color indigo. Then
Yeah,
go after that.
Indiegogo, INDIEGOGO.
Okay.
And we're going to have some donor sheets here. She's going to print up some paper donation forms too, so people can donate that way. We can take donations here at the lunch studio to 444 South Saginaw.
Okay. Well,
That's for people who are not, you know, on the computers. I guess there are still a few around.
okay, Helen, I'll wrap this up right now. Thanks again, and I hope this helps out, and I hope people donate to you, okay?
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.